What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Svenson, and today we're going to be talking about the price of Bitcoin. Recently, Bitcoin broke below the upward sloping trend line, and we've also seen a dump over the past 24 hours. We are now starting to recover, starting to bounce back. Bitcoin is only down 0.36% in the past 24 hours, trading around 9,364. Right now, I'm looking at the daily chart for Bitcoin. There are only 7 hours left on this daily candle, and what we can see is that we did create a short-term lower low, but we are starting to bounce back. The interesting thing is that this is actually something we've seen before. If you look at what we've been doing for the past few months, Bitcoin has seen a very similar pattern play out time and time again. The price remains above an upward sloping trend. We break below that upward sloping trend, create a short-term lower low formation. We create a higher low on their larger timescales, and we start to trend up again. Going through March into the beginning of April, we were trending up. Then in the beginning of April, we broke below the upward sloping trend, finding a short-term lower low formation, but we created a higher low on the larger time frames. A similar thing happened again after we ran up for that first test of 10,000 after the halving here. We ended up breaking into a lower low formation below the upward sloping trend line, creating another higher low on the higher time frames. And right now we're kind of doing something similar where we're breaking into a lower low formation, but we're possibly creating a higher low formation. So what we've seen recently is a lot of fake outs. A lot of people have been getting faked out, right? We see a break below these uptrends and everyone thinks the trend is over and Bitcoin's about to sell off to much lower prices. But the bulls seem to continuously step in after we break these upward sloping trend lines and we end up moving onto a different trajectory. But what this is showing me overall on the chart is that there's not that much selling interest. There's not that much selling pressure. So every time we sell off, we can see that the bulls do step back into the market. They put in that support and we maintain these levels. Now, the trajectory that we've been in recently is becoming a little bit more horizontal. It's becoming a little bit different now. We're losing a little bit of momentum from the bulls. We're losing that upward sloping trajectory. We're looking a little bit more sideways here, creating sort of a sideways channel. Although whenever we do see a dump like we saw today, everything gets bought back up, which tells me that the selling pressure is pretty weak and there's more buying interest than there is selling interest right now. And all of this makes sense to me, guys, because we tested these low 3,000 levels in the bear market, and after the global pandemic, which was a black swan event, we came back to retest 3858. And guys, look at this. Those volume levels at the low at 3858 were actually exceeding the volume levels at the $20,000 area. And now what we're seeing, if you're looking at the weekly chart, is we're just seeing continuous higher lows, and now the price is beginning to squeeze a little bit in this range. So we're entering more of a sideways consolidation here. And looking at the daily chart again, we've been getting a lot of resistance at 10,000. It's pretty clear that $10,000 is that psychological level. And we had a false breakout above it. We came right back below it, found resistance along 10,000 again after having found it here in May. So obviously 10,000 is that next psychological level that we need to break. And if we can break 10,000, at that point, we're just going to be continuing this upward sloping trajectory, possibly creating an ascending triangle and looking for a breakout at a later date. Despite this short-term lower low formation here, as long as we're creating higher lows on the chart generally, then I have to remain bullish on Bitcoin. This is the type of sentiment, this is the type of mentality that has kept me on track for the past few months. When we break these uptrends, basically what I look for is just overall a higher low on the larger timeframes. If we can create higher lows on the larger time frames, then I remain bullish. Guys, my viewers, some of the viewers in my comment section, every time we broke these uptrends, they kept telling me, Kevin, we're gonna, this is a huge bear signal, we're going lower. You guys, don't be faked out by these short-term trend breaks. Overall, what you got to look for is the overall trend. Are we creating higher lows on the larger time frames? The selling pressure is still pretty light. We're not finding that many sellers here. This tells me that things can still remain bullish for Bitcoin. Also, if you're looking at the 4-hour time scale, we do have the RSI at this moment bottoming out, seeing some support come in for the RSI, a double bottom formation on the RSI, exiting oversold territory. This does indicate that we could see some continued upside. Also looking at the MACD, we see some positive momentum building here, looking like we could see some potential continued moves to the upside. So there are a few indicators that tell me that Bitcoin could remain bullish. Another factor we discussed recently is the stock market. Today, the stock market dropped almost 2.5% on the open there. And Bitcoin actually did see a dump with the stock market today. We saw a lot of uncertainty. People were unsure if the stock market was going to see a continued sell-off or not. Last night, futures were down a good amount, and Bitcoin did see a sell-off with futures. With the stock market this morning, we did see a little bit of a dump, but the S&P has recovered today. We are actually uptrending on the lower time frames, pushing back to the upside here for the S&P, and Bitcoin is seeing a nice push to the upside looking at the 30-minute chart. So we are seeing a good rally right now. In my last video when I was discussing the stock market, I was saying if the S&P can remain above these levels and bounce off of one of these previous resistance levels as new support, this could actually mean that we're looking to potentially remain bullish or at least trade sideways before the actual reversal takes place. In this scenario where the S&P is bouncing back, trading sideways, this could give Bitcoin the ability to trade sideways as well, create that ascending triangle, create that bullish continuation pattern, and look for that break above the $10,000, $10,500 level. And at this moment right now, I still think this is what's most likely. I don't see that much selling interest. I don't see that many sellers stepping into the market right now. I think most people that are interested in Bitcoin have been taking advantage of these lower prices here. And now we're just fighting those psychological resistance levels. We're fighting that 10K level, and we're fighting that historic 10.5K level, that historic supply line that we haven't been able to get above. And of course, guys, once we get above 10,500, then that is a huge shift in the market. Getting above $10,500 means that we would be confirming support along a previous multi-year resistance, and it also means that we would be getting the first macro higher high that we've seen in multiple years. And this is the type of stuff that I'm looking out for right now for Bitcoin. And it looks like this weekly candle could actually remain bullish. If we can close this weekly candle up at 9,800, then that would be a pretty good weekly close. That means that we could be looking to maintain this level or actually break out above that level, looking for a bullish continuation pattern to the upside, looking to test some of these historic price levels. And right now, I still think the bullish case holds more weight. One thing that would stop me from thinking that, one thing that could make me a little bit more bearish on Bitcoin, is if we end up breaking below some of these larger scale, higher time frame support levels. Like if we break below 8,630, that would make me more bearish on Bitcoin. I'd be looking to target at least 7,700, if not 6,400 on the next major test to the downside. So that's what I would be looking for in a bearish scenario. But overall, right now, things look pretty good. That bullish continuation pattern, guys, that potential ascending triangle pushing us back up towards that $10,000 level. Despite this little fake out wick down here, maybe we do range back up into this area and look to break those resistances. And this is still what I think is most likely right now. So that is what I'm looking for in the market at the moment. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, but that's going to be it for today's video. If you like this video, definitely hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Guys, be sure to sign up with the CryptoWatch platform. There's a tutorial popping up on the screen right now. Watch that tutorial if you're interested in setting yourself up on the CryptoWatch platform. Guys, there's big news coming for the CryptoWatch platform in the next few weeks, and I'm going to be discussing all of that on this channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.